The knock came hard and sudden, rattling the thin wooden door like it might break off its hinges. Elijah flinched and nearly dropped the broom from his hands. Outside, tires crunched against gravel, and unfamiliar voices murmured. His mother looked up from the small stove, fear flashing across her tired eyes. "Who could that be this early?" she whispered. Before she could stop him, Elijah stepped toward the door. "But before we go any further, pause for just 1 second. If stories about kindness, sacrifice, and unexpected miracles move you even a little, tap like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You won't want to miss what happens next." Elijah pulled the door open. A tall man in a tailored suit stood outside, polished shoes dusted by the poor street they lived on. Behind him, a sleek black car gleamed in the morning sun like it didn't belong there. Neighbors had begun peeking through their windows. "Is this the home of Elijah Thompson?" the man asked calmly. Elijah swallowed. "Yes, sir. I'm Elijah." The man's eyes softened. "I've been looking for you." Just hours earlier, Elijah's biggest worry had been hunger. The day before, Elijah had walked home from school with his stomach twisting into knots. His mother had given him a few coins that morning, barely enough for one small meal. He planned every step carefully, stopping at the same corner stall he always did. As the vendor wrapped the food, Elijah noticed an elderly couple sitting nearby on a low concrete bench. The man's coat was threadbare, his wife's hands trembling as she counted coins over and over. "That's all we have," she murmured. "Maybe we can share something small." The vendor shook his head gently. "It's not enough." Elijah felt his chest tighten. He clutched the warm package in his hands. This was dinner. Maybe even breakfast tomorrow if he saved it. He hesitated, then stepped forward. "Sir," Elijah said quietly to the vendor, "can you give them my meal?" The old woman gasped. "Oh no, sweetheart, you don't have to." "It's okay," Elijah said quickly, pressing the food forward. "Really, I'm not that hungry." That wasn't true. His stomach burned with hunger, but something stronger pushed him forward. The old man's eyes filled with tears. "Why would you do this for us?" Elijah shrugged, forcing a small smile. "Because someone should." The couple thanked him over and over, but Elijah had already turned away, walking home with empty hands and a full heart that still ached. That night, his mother noticed he barely touched the small soup she'd managed to make. "You feeling all right?" she asked. "Yes, Ma," he lied softly. He went to bed listening to his stomach growl, staring at the ceiling, wondering if kindness really mattered when life was this hard. Now, standing face to face with the stranger at his door, Elijah felt that same uncertainty crawl back into his chest. "I'm sorry," Elijah said nervously. "Did I do something wrong?" The man smiled. "Quite the opposite." He stepped aside and gestured toward the car. Two figures slowly emerged, the elderly couple. Elijah's breath caught. It's them." The old woman rushed forward, pulling Elijah into a hug. "We told him about you," she said, her voice shaking. "We told him everything." The suited man cleared his throat. "I'm Daniel Whitmore," he said. "Those two are my parents." Elijah's mother gasped behind him. "Your parents?" Daniel nodded. "I'm a businessman, very wealthy, but I've spent years wondering if kindness still exists when no one is watching. My parents insisted on walking the city on their own. Yesterday I followed them from a distance." Elijah's heart pounded. "I watched people pass them by," Daniel continued. "I watched others look away. And then I saw you." Daniel's voice grew thick. "You gave away your only meal. No cameras, no audience, no expectation." Elijah whispered, "I didn't think anyone saw." "That's why it mattered," Daniel said. Neighbors had gathered now, silent, stunned. Daniel turned to Elijah's mother. "Your son showed more character in one moment than most people show in a lifetime." Tears streamed down her face. I raised him to be kind, even when it's hard. Daniel reached into his jacket and handed Elijah an envelope. Inside is a scholarship, full education, food support, housing assistance. And this is just the beginning. Elijah's hands shook. Sir, I didn't do it for this. Daniel smiled gently. I know. That's why you deserve it. The old man squeezed Elijah's shoulder. You fed our bodies, he said. You fed our hope. Elijah felt something shift inside him, like the world had cracked open just enough to let light pour in. Before Daniel turned to leave, he looked back. Never let this world harden your heart, son. Elijah nodded, tears finally falling. And as the car drove away, neighbors whispered in awe. Elijah stood there, realizing one small choice had changed everything. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what you would have done in Elijah's place. Sometimes the smallest kindness opens the biggest doors.